approach Budget 2025, the industry expects sweeping reforms in the Indian tax and regulatory framework to pave way for creating a 30 trillion economy by 2050. You're well aware that India is poised to become the third largest economy by 2030 with expected GDP of 7 trillion USD. As India gears up for the financial year 2025-26, it's expected that the Budget 2025 is going to lay down the foundation for the growth that India Inc. is looking forward. Let me now share with you some of our key expectations from a mergers and acquisition perspective from the Budget 2025. One of the key expectations is regarding dividend tax reinvestment exemptions. Currently, dividend as received by infrastructure SPVs is taxed in the hands of holding companies. It is expected that the finance minister lays down an reinvestment scheme whereby reinvestment of such dividend tax is exempted and there is no dividend tax leviable on receipt of dividends from SPVs of infrastructure companies. My second expectation is that mergers and amalgamations with respect to service sector should be provided the exemption under Section 72A of the Income Tax Act. My third expectation is that overseas dividend when received by Indian holding companies should enjoy certain tax rationalization because currently it is subject to a dual taxation whereby on one hand it is taxed in the overseas jurisdiction and subsequently in the Indian jurisdiction as and when it is received. My fourth expectation is Section 79 of the Income Tax Act should be rationalized, providing for clear carry forward of losses in cases of group restructuring. And my last expectation is that the tax regime for LLPs and partnerships should be rationalized whereby the tax rate as applicable to these entities should be at the rate of 25% at par with companies. This shall go a long way in providing a tax efficient platform for SMEs when they opt for LLPs and partnerships as growth engines for their businesses. I'm also talking about transfer pricing expectations. So some of my transfer pricing expectations are as follows. My first expectation on transfer pricing is that the safe harbor provisions should be rationalized and the rates of safe harbor should be based on real economic returns and because the current rates are really on a higher side. I would also request the government to lay down certain position papers with respect to key transfer pricing issues on outstanding receivables and intragroup services and intragroup guarantees which have been the bone of contention in relation to transfer pricing disputes between SSCs and tax officers. My other expectation is that the stay of demand provisions should be rationalized in context of transfer pricing additions and the same should be limited to 10% of the total tax adjustment arising due to a transfer pricing demand. This is so because the transfer pricing demands are generally more on a higher side compared to normal corporate tax assessments. I also request that there has to be a fast track scheme for APAs with respect to smaller and medium sized enterprises. This is so because a lot of small entities outside India are coming to India and setting up base in India. Now, if we have a fast track APA program which spans over 6 months, this provides them much needed certainty for transfer pricing disputes. Thank you very much, and these were my budget expectations for Finance Act 2025. Thank you.